And a very fine good evening from Bern, Switzerland. We're here with the International Bern Damen Cup Curling Champions Tour coverage of this event. We're into the B Road. We've got Muirhead from Scotland against Nielsen from Denmark. Quick introduction of the teams. We've got Lauren Gray, Vicky Adams, Anna Sloan, and Eve Muirhead for the Scottish team. And for the Danes, we've got Denise Dupont, Stephanie Risdal, Madeline Dupont, and Lena Nielsen. The alternate, Charlotte Clemenson. This is a Curling Champions Tour coverage in association with World Curling Television. My name is Armin Harder. I'm here with Al Moore tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
Nice to have you back again, Al.
Yeah, I went from one snowy climate to another.
So we're in here with B action tonight. Both these teams having lost in their A group. And we'll try and figure that out where they came from exactly.
As a result of the last stone draw, Team Denmark Nielsen has last stone in the first end, as they outdrew Muirhead's team in the last stone draw before this game just started. Nielsen's team is throwing the yellow stones. Muirhead's team will be playing red.
And Muirhead got here, was defeated earlier by Schupp in an extra end. Then went on in the B group to play against Costa, and now here against Nielsen. Nielsen lost out to Verano in the top of the A group and directly here into B. So the winner of this will move to the B final, which will be played tomorrow night. So big game here for both these teams. You don't want to land in the C group now. It's always a long road out of there.
Well, if there's nothing else to do, then you may as well be on the ice curling. But there's a lot more pressure. I expect that there'll be a interesting game tonight, because both these teams love to put stones in play. And you see right away that Eve's thrown a guard, Lenny's gone around behind it, and Eve's tried to play a freeze in the house. This will be followed by another freeze. So I expect that we'll see a lot of interesting ends with lots of stones in play. So hold on to your hat.
Denise Dupont and Risdal sweeping that rock.
Let's see. Okay, just the freeze. I don't mind even moving it a couple inches. Okay. Freeze it a little bit.
So Al, you're back here taking notes on the Swiss teams again and preparing them for the Swiss Championships.
Yeah, trying to do that as best we can. Meet on the ice with many of the men's and women's teams already. I've been on the ice with most of them for the next couple of weeks, and then they'll be heading into the Swiss Championship play to determine the national champion. So there's 6 teams in the national championship for each of the men and women's groups. The women have already determined their 6 this last weekend. 3 teams had pre-qualified by virtue of their points, being Silvana Tiranzoni, Alina Petz, and Bina Felcher. And the other 3 who have qualified in a championship play were Elena Stern, Ursi Hagner, and Lisa Giesler. The men's are in the process right now of determining theirs. They've only got 2 teams qualified for the championships, being Peter de Cruz, the top-ranked men's team, and Mark Pfister, last year's champion. And there's, I believe, 9 teams playing for the other 4 spots, and they're actually playing this weekend in Thun as part of that run-up to the Swiss Championship.
So lots of big curling going on in Switzerland right now amongst this women's CCT event, 49th event. Long history here in Bern.
I think the teams love this time frame because most national championships will be occurring within the next 2 or 3 weeks, and this is a great opportunity for them to fine-tune their games heading into those championships.
Great draw here, lots of good teams playing.
Yeah, I understand we have 11 countries.
Yep, and China represented, Japan represented, Canada represented,
USA are here.
USA represented, and
We've got
many European teams or countries.
Good.
Oh, there's a nice rock.
Good.
So the war of positioning stones went to Scotland. Those first 3 or 4 stones where they're trying to position, Scotland are trying to position to force Nielsen to 1 point this end so they can get hammer in the next end. And Nielsen was looking to try and set up a deuce, but right now she's looking at 3 against, and will be happy to get out of this end with a blank.
All of them in front of the tee line. Madeline Dupont. And gets a nose hit. Muirhead still lying 1 in the 4-foot. Lots of experience here on both teams. Lenny Nielsen's been around for a while.
And they've both been to many world championships and many, many European championships, and they've probably played each other at all of those events, so there's no secrets between the two.
Easy field. Good, Anna. Good, Anna. Good.
Really looking for a roll over in front of her stone in the 4-foot. This allows Nielsen to hit and roll behind that one at the top of the 12-foot and still potentially get a 2.
Good job, son.
Alternatively, they could roll behind the stone at the edge of the 8-foot there and get 2 that way.
Yeah. Tap. But tap you'll not be in, so.
Okay.
Just playing.
Just play similar to the first and the last game, but you just need to play it up, yeah?
Play through it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, line only just now.
Okay, way's good.
Line only, way's close. Whoa. Line only.
7.
7.
Line's good. Close.
Hard. Line only. Way only.
Way up.
Vicky.
Line's really good.
I think they've switched the second and third.
We're 7-8.
We better be
Move
kind
it.
Good.
Nice
Good,
way.
Anna. Good.
Good.
Have time there.
Nice way.
Yeah, we've got Stephanie Rizdal throwing 3rd rocks instead of Madeline Dupont. Just switch those 2 around. No error there on our part.
Well, the team might have made a change after the last game, too. I'm not sure that Stephanie's was playing 3rd before.
It wasn't the lineup we got. But, that's okay.
Yeah.
Can't. Hack.
Again.
Not what they were looking for. It wasn't real close to what they were trying to do, and that misses probably put their skip in a tough position coming forward. Eve's going to try and get one just part way around the top one, top of the 4-foot or full 8-foot.
I guess even locked on's okay as well.
Yeah, we've got
She
options.
can't really.
And Lenny will probably be forced to play some kind of a double to open up
Yeah.
the 4-foot for her last stone.
It's same as the
So I've got a record here of since 2011, these teams have faced each other in either Champions Tour competitions, World or European Championships, or World Curling Tour events. In Canada, they've faced each other 17 times.
Wow.
And Muirhead is on top with 12 wins, and Nielsen with 5. Quite an interesting, seen each other lots, which is inevitable, I guess. You've been around so long. Although none of these teams are that old.
Good, Eve. That's nice. Good, huh?
Good job.
You know, Team Muirhead are still all in their 20s. Oldest one being Vicky Adams at 27.
It's pretty fun here now, I think.
Team Nielsen's a little bit older. Lenny's 30. And Denise DuPont, 32.
Well, considering their experience,
But they've got an awful lot of experience in that short period of time. Lenny will be looking to make a double takeout here and possibly roll in for third shot, but she needs to open up the forefoot so she has some kind of opportunity to score with her last one. And this is just the kind of end that Muirhead was looking for to start the game out, put a lot of pressure on the opposition. And at worst case scenario, give them one. Best case scenario, steal a point or two.
Go!
She's sitting third shot, but she won't be too happy with that. She wanted to make sure she moved that stone to the top of the 8-foot to open things up. So this is really going to give Eve a chance to really close down the scoring area.
you don't want to start the first end by giving up a whole bunch here, do you? Against Muirhead. Traditionally a very strong team defending when they're ahead.
So Eve will be looking to come probably just short of the house, biting the center line, so there will be no double, and also it'll cut off the draw to the button, which would put Nielsen in a real predicament. She might be forced to draw for second shot and just give up 1 point.
Whoa. Halfway. Vicky.
Line's really good.
You gotta go, Vicky.
It's pretty good.
Go,
Keep
Vicky.
it fit. Go, Vicky. Hard, Vicky.
For 3.
Hard, Vicky. Hard, hard, hard.
Hard.
Hard, 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 hard. Oh, oh.
Good.
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 Really good. That's it.
There's a lot of late
Good job.
curl in this ice. Ice maker Stefan Roethlisberger has done a great job. He's got help from, I guess, Mike Reed. And they're putting in a lot of hours this weekend. The stones are brand new stones here, but they've had enough games played on them that the running surface will be nicely broken in.
They're Caves of Scotland rocks. Same rocks used as at world events, international competitions.
It's a really difficult shot that skips really don't want to have to make in the first end. Looking at 2 counters and having to draw to the pinhole around the guard just to score 1. I think she'd be satisfied if she only gives up 1 this end.
They got to work it hard to get it there. This is look like she's coming up short.
Yeah.
Steal of 2.
Not a great start for the Danes. Eve will be more than pleased with that start. Exactly what she was looking for.
So with that, in the first end, with that steal, Eve Muirhead and their Scottish foursome take a 2-0 lead. And Nielsen gets the hammer going into the second end.
Det kan også godt være, at vi kommer ud i noget andet. I ice-skifur, men altså så skud med det her. Ja. Altså 2, det er en katastrofe. Altså det havde svaret, så vi ikke havde haft ham. Ja. Så det var at starte forfra. Ja. Vi gør det rigtigt. Jeg skal bare lige have den fine på banen. Jeg synes, den... Ja, den er lidt... Ja, den vil være sådan en del anderledes. Ja. Okay. Så, ja. Jeg skal lige med. Ja. Det er så fint. Ja, det må du sige.
Jeg siger det okay, det ikke.
Jeg synes, den virkede fin. Men det var der, den bare sagde,
Den bananer stikker af, ja.
So we're back here in the second end with the International Bernese Diamond Cup. 32 teams.
49th year they've been holding this tournament. I guess next year will be a big celebration, 50 years.
Yeah. See what they do for that. I'm sure they'll figure something special out.
Indoor fireworks, perhaps.
That'll please Stefan before the game starts.
Yeah.
32 teams playing a triple knockout. And then 8 qualifiers. Playoffs are on start Sunday morning. We'll be here. This is our 3rd game today. We'll be 3 games tomorrow. And then another 3 games on Sunday.
It's an awful lot of curling wrapped into a short period of time.
Yes.
So traditionally, the first stone has gone top 4 foot by Team Scotland. Denmark have responded with a corner guard, and now Team Muirhead will be looking to put a close guard on this one.
Wait's really good.
Whoa.
Line on leg.
Wait's really good.
Line's perfect.
We can go, we can go.
Vicky. Okay.
Whoa.
Line's perfect.
Yep. Good, Lauren. Nice weight.
Over curled just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Denmark can see a little bit of that, but here we go into the draw game again. Denmark will be looking to freeze that stone on the top of the 4 foot and perhaps set up an opportunity later on to remove it with a raise.
Go! Last! 6! Mal, last! 6! Mal, last, ja. Wow. 6! Den tør lidt nu. Det er Berneses. Ja. Farten er der. Den har ikke noget bom. Den kan ikke komme. Den har ingen linje. Det er jo Lotte. En super fart. Ja.
Perfectly delivered.
Yep, it's running nice. Yep, it's the same speed.
I guess even if I'm top 12 or 3, that's okay. I added.
Wait's pretty close.
I added.
We're all there.
We're 8.
8, 9.
Go past it if you can.
We're 9.
Go Lauren! Hard, Lauren! Hard, Lauren! Hard! Keep on it. Right, Anna, someone, one of you. Go.
I think we have it figured out, Al.
Okay, sorry.
Clemenson playing lead. Denise DuPont second. Stephanie Risdal third. And Lena Nielsen playing fourth. That took a while.
Yeah.
It is late. It's been a long day. And we're still jet lagged. I came in from Zurich and you came in from Vancouver. My jet lag's a little more intensive than yours.
Yes, it is. The Zurich flight can be hell.
Yeah.
Oj, det kan jeg godt se. Det vil den ikke.
Oof. Just got a piece of it.
Nielsen's team not quite sharp yet, just not setting up the opportunities that they should be. They really want to stick on those, keep the pressure on Team Muirhead, but rolling out just
What was that?
lets the opposition off the hook.
Okay, 1 to go.
Yeah, Lauren!
We're 5.
Lauren!
4.
Lauren! It's hard, Lauren!
You'll hear them calling out the names of one or the other. Even with these new brushes, they believe they can manipulate the amount of curl with a stone by sweeping on one side or the other. To be honest, from what I've seen with the new brush heads that everybody's required to play with, the amount of manipulation that they're actually able to do is minimal.
No, I know that's what I mean. It took a different direction.
But I guess after last year's Broomgate, if you will, where they were making lots of movement by where they swept with a stone, that they're continuing to try it.
Although the teams haven't changed their sweeping methods, they're still sweeping the same way. Still trying to get movement on that rock.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that they're actually doing anything, and I've seen hundreds of games already since these new brushes have been in place, and I have yet to see them make the impact that they seem to think they're making. And I also believe these new brush pads probably don't drag the stone as far down the ice as we used to, according to the people I've talked to who are at the curling summit. Probably the maximum you get on these is about 1.5 meters in distance, whereas I believe you get 2+ meters with brushes that were previously used.
I think that was the point, though, of the whole thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the point of the whole thing was to make the game a shooter's game and put emphasis on shot making from the shooter, not from the brushers, and I think that they accomplished that.
As long as the brushers still have an effect, though.
Yep, they can still have an effect.
Don't want to eliminate the brushers either. I know the ice makers, being an ice maker myself, we certainly don't mind them. The pebbles holding up a lot longer.
Yeah.
They used to rip those pebbles away with those old brushes.
Yes.
Especially in club conditions. Obviously, in ice rinks, you run a lot colder than you would in the curling club.
Yeah, the fabric on these brushes is a much tighter weave and much smoother. It doesn't have the roughness of the previous brushes.
Here we see Stephanie Risdall playing third rocks. Madeline DuPont sitting on the sidelines. There's a good rock.
Nice stone. A little bit heavy, left some space there to get out. She really wanted to freeze that stone, but it's mostly behind the guard.
Easy hack.
Probably easy hat.
Easy hack.
E. 13.
Sounds good.
And Anna Sloan now in the hack, being the only left-hander on the ice. But she and Eve have been together for quite a number of years, so
Wayne's good.
Wayne's down.
shows a very nice, clean release.
Wayne's good. Wayne's
So
good.
easy to read.
Oh, Lauren, you need to go. Wayne's
So
good.
Lauren trying to make it curl,
Whoa. Yep.
Whoa.
and now Vicky trying to keep it straight.
Go Eve.
Good.
Good
Good,
job.
Anna.
Great shot, Anna.
Nicely done. Remove that rock without touching the back one, jamming on it. And once again, Muirhead sitting with 3 rocks.
A little bit better position for Team Nielsen this end, though. They're not facing one on the button, and they do have a corner guard, and there is some room to maneuver to try and score 2.
Good. Go.
Inlet.
Good call.
Ja.
That's a shake. No. Okay.
Oh. Wow, wow, wow.
I
Ja.
did not go. Face there.
Didn't quite get the roll they're looking for. But Eve's going to have to be careful that she doesn't jam the yellow one onto the stone at the back.
She's got it all.
I think she'll just play hacking. Or maybe
Yeah.
same as Anna.
I think I prefer Eve to play hack.
Yep.
Okay, hack. Yep.
Yeah.
Nose. Nose is perfect. Like just a wee inch your way. My way. Yeah. Should come up quite nice at hack. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, move nice.
First rock here in the second end.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
It's wrecking on the guard.
Okay, it's light.
Yeah, like.
Okay.
Hey,
We all heard it. She said that was light. It's
Okay.
an advantage now to
97.
Nielsen.
Meget lille smule på indersiden.
The winner of this game will play the winner of Hannah Fleming from Scotland and current European champion Moisieva.
Det er meget, meget lidt på indersiden.
Efterlader Dublin til.
And they'll play that game at 11 o'clock tomorrow, and the winner of that game will move into a B qualifying event.
Jeg kan egentlig meget godt lide den.
Yeah, so big game here for both teams. I don't think you really want to drop down in the sea.
Det
You
er den,
don't
der
have
er
to.
med rundt.
It's a long road back.
Yeah, being in the sea road will really test the fitness of your team.
jeg står også lige om i din røv.
Ej, jeg skal snart. Okay, ja.
Ja.
Og vi skal rulle lidt til din side.
Men ikke for meget.
Lidt smule. Det er bedre lige at gå med rundt.
Jeg kan meget godt lide det der.
Just looking through here, there's a couple of good teams down in the sea already. Flaxseed from Canada being one of them.
Yeah, who won a Grand Slam event, I believe, earlier this year.
Down in the sea already.
They're probably jet lagged, and they're maybe over here on a little bit of a vacation. I don't think they've ever been over to Europe before, and
It's always a bit of a culture change or shock.
Go! Yep. Go!
And maybe
Go!
underestimating a little bit of the opponents. Is that possible?
yeah, possibly thinking that they just have to step onto the ice to win.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we see them there at the end, qualifying somehow.
Get their feet underneath them. And
Maybe they had a cheese fondue last night or something like that. It was laying a little heavy.
Get in there for
There we see.
it's already biting his fingers, and it's the
Glenn
second
Howard.
end.
Might as well go for it and make her draw anyways.
Sure that extra end lost Andreas Schopp didn't help his disposition at that.
Yeah, he's the coach this year for Team Muirhead,
I think it's quite thin.
and traveling back and forth, getting those air miles.
Qualified last weekend in the regionals for the provincials in Ontario, he was telling me.
as much as that.
So, man with a busy schedule.
We were thinking, we were thinking thinner.
Then 3/4 should be pretty cool.
Eve's going after the double here, I think. Doesn't mind if her shooter rolls out, but she'd really like to make those two Yellowstones disappear. So throwing big weight at this one. Unfortunately, she jammed it. Leave an open draw for Lenny Nielsen. Will have to hit, have most of the house to draw to. Just has to count the one in the back, the 12-foot out, to get her two and get this game back on even terms.
That was a good attempt, just kind of missed it. So we're down to last rock here in the second end. Lena Nielsen with her last rock in the position to tie up this game. Sweepers are working it.
They're working it hard. She was light, as you recall, in the last shot in the first end.
Needs to get full into the house, into the eighth, and she's got it.
And good work by
Coming
the
out back
Russians.
one. Yeah. Brusher. So a score of 2 here ties the game after 2 ends of play, and Muirhead takes the hammer into the third end.
Den er ikke nem at gøre.
Jo, men du kan nok godt tåle at være på 95 siden nærmere end...
Det er rigtig godt. Jeg tager god ende. Ja, vi kæmper. Der kommer sgu også penge op. I anden ende da. Fedt, mand.
2-2. Ja, starter forfra.
Hun vil gerne spille. Så vi vil gerne have lørdagssko.
Ja.
Fuld 5, top 6.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
She still had quite a lot on that out turn. I know what you mean, it would get in the way, but even if you missed the slash, she would have to play the draw anyway, so.
We went in with her on, she thought she had to hit 3/4. No.
What we said to her was
It might be an idea that you
But
discussed
exactly.
with
We're back with the third end. Bern Lady International Bern Diamond Cup here at the Curling Bahn Almend in the Expo area. And Al, you've pretty well become a resident of Bern. You lived here the last 5 years, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
In your function as Swiss Curling. I gave you a penthouse with jacuzzi.
Yeah, I wish.
Apartment.
5-story walk-up with no elevator. That tests the legs. Keeps me in shape.
We are a sport organization. So make sure our coaches stay fit too. So you've seen here. You've been here 5 years now, and you've seen a bit of a transition. Younger, especially on the late, well, in the men's side, younger teams moving up into the elite. What's your overall impression of these young teams coming out of the junior program for Switzerland?
Well, I think the young teams there's more travel. I think the junior program for the Curling Champions Tour, junior tour has helped a lot. Now the teams are getting to travel all over Europe and play against the very best teams from Scotland and Germany and Norway and Sweden, and it's very competitive. And I think that's been a big boom to the boost in junior curling. And they're getting some decent instruction. I think they see that Swiss teams have had some success in the world stage and realize that if they work hard, that they could perhaps enjoy the same successes.
Okay, lady.
So it sounds like you're implying that the junior programs generally in not only Switzerland, but they've tightened up quite a bit in many of the countries.
I think put
a push on
Sweden, Scotland for sure have I guess the Olympic success that Scotland had at the last Olympics in Sochi allowed them to increase their funding, and I know British curling has hired a lot of coaches and really put a lot of effort into their elite program, and it's showing. They've got a lot of good junior curlers have come up. Recently, Smith, I believe Kyle Smith from Scotland is now ranked in the top 16 in the world and is playing in the Grand Slams in Canada and having some success at doing that. So
and Mowat and Hardy.
Yeah, there's just a never-ending flow. So it's good to see, and I think success breeds success.
Yep. Competition amongst nationally wise helps too. I believe I think that was the philosophy of Swiss curling certainly in the last number of years, is to develop the national competition level too. Huh?
Develop the competition. You see here, we've got 11 countries wanting to come to this tournament. So this tournament's now one of the high-profile events in the world, and teams want to come and compete here. So the level of play just increases every event you go to. It seems that the quality of the field there's just no easy games anymore.
No, even the lesser known nations in curling are certainly starting to get their wins under their belts too. And once they have a win or two, seems the next come easier, I believe. Well, we see a different picture here after a few rocks in play. All of a sudden, Nielsen's sitting there with 2 rocks.
Yeah, there are more lemons in the house than cherries the last few ends. And one team is trying to score, so they're leaving stones in play, and the other team's trying to keep it clean. And so it's always difficult to try and set up that 2. And you want to be aggressive, but at the same time you want to be sure you score your 1 point. Nice run back there by Vicky.
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy to remove because they can't quite see the whole stone, and the angle they'd have to hit it to go out is moving back onto their yellow ones.
But being that they're staggered, maybe a possibility to draw in behind. Nielsen wants to steal, and I think she's taking a look at running this guard.
I
How about
think
a draw behind?
I think she's doesn't want to get into that. She's tied the score up, and I think she's probably hoping that she can still force Scotland to 1. I think her prime objective this end is to force Scotland to 1. I don't think she's really looking for a steal. She might later on if things open up for her, but right now she's trying not to keep Scotland from scoring 2 and trying to hopefully make them score 1.
Denise Dupont.
My first call was the other one, Eve. But whatever you think from up there. Okay.
Normal! Yeah. Okay. Is that okay, Normal?
A little surprised at this call. I thought she'd hit the one in the center and roll toward the outside one.
She's looking for a nose hit here, though, isn't she?
She called to roll toward the center.
Oh, okay.
But
that takes the game to the center, though, right?
yeah, but by going where she went, now she's left
Still
a.
there.
Huh?
At least it's still there.
Yeah.
I guess Vicky was a little wide on that one. She's just happy that it stayed in the rings. But now this gives Nielsen a chance to hit and sit 2 again.
And the game is still in the middle where actually Muirhead doesn't want it, right?
Well, I thought she would like to prefer to play in the sides, but given that last call, hit and roll into the center. I'm not sure why that was. It surprised me.
We should mic the coaches while we're doing these games, and we can ask them questions like that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a Glenn Howard strategy behind that.
There's basically every one of these international teams that have been here has brought a coach or 2 with them. So and they made the commitment to prepare and to compete at the highest level. So after every game, the teams will go back and they'll debrief. They'll have a meeting with their coach before each game to plan their game plan. So
Ooh, just missed the double. Nice attempt.
Becoming very professional in its approach.
I'm starting to see some specialization too in some of the countries. Well, we've seen that with you, mainly at the beginning coming over as a technical trainer and having such good success with the women that you took over the coaching role. But I think I see tactical and technical trainers starting to develop.
Sports psychologists. I'm sure there's some sports psychologists sitting behind the bench. There's games being recorded on video. Most of the games, actually, you'll see a camera behind each sheet, and there's somebody keeping stats, and that will be reviewed probably at the end of the event, not after every game, certainly. They might pick out the odd point to review, but certainly they'll take all the stats and evaluate the play and trying to make the proper adjustments moving forward to future tournaments. So no longer do 4 players just show up at a tournament and play. Now there's 4 players, an alternate, a coach or 2, a video, stats keeper.
Team manager.
And some team manager, and some bring physiotherapists as well. So
Chinese have a team doctor here. I think the Russians usually travel with a team doctor also.
So if you're going to do this and travel, these teams will probably go to 7 or 8
team doctors when we travel.
We need a team doctor for the coaches, or at least a physiotherapist anyway.
Us, but we certainly need team doctors.
No, these teams will play 8 to 10 tournaments a year, plus their national championships. So it's a lot of travel all around the world. The game is now played in virtually all the continents, and there's big tournaments everywhere.
Imagine just trying to get regular sleep and rest. Nice hit and roll here. Working it hard to try and get in front. Almost made it.
Good shot. They've left a double for Nielsen. This is a curler's double, which is a half a stone on the front one. Curlers love to hit a half a stone because they get 2/3 and it'll be a nice hit and roll, or they can hit a half and make a double. So there's a fairly good margin for error on these kind of stones. She doesn't have to make the double, but if she rolls over on the face of that red stone, that'll effectively eliminate it.
Well, sitting 2 would be important. Huh? Lena Nielsen.
Starts from a standing position. She has had some knee issues, even as early as this year at the Europeans. She had to pull herself out of a couple of games because of injury.
She seems to come down pretty hard on that knee, and she's got.
And just
exactly what you said.
exactly what she's left now.
She's left a double the other way.
She's left a half stone double back for Eve. She needs to hit that one just a fraction thinner to push that red stone right out of the house.
Looking at Lena Nielsen's delivery as she comes forward with that, she's probably putting a lot of force into that knee.
Yeah.
With her the way her delivery is.
I think we need to go normal if we're playing.
Yeah, we're learning more and more about bodies and joints and knees. You probably heard recently Manuela Segrist, the normal third for Team Tiranzoni, is out for 12 weeks after recent knee surgery. So it's really important that these players now, of course, all have physical trainers and have personal physical programs to keep their bodies in tip-top shape. The legs are extremely important in the sport of curling, as they have to support the entire body for 16 to 20 shots every game. And if the legs aren't doing the work, that duty falls to the joints, and the joints really don't like doing that very much.
Certainly not over a length of period of time. She's got the double.
She's got a double.
She's left another double row.
And you'll see that angle looks very familiar again, and that's that half stone double. And if Lenny can make this, Eve will be looking for a blank.
Well, Anna Sloan was out at the beginning of the season. She's now worked her way back into the team. And
yeah, she had some surgery, I believe, on is it an ankle?
I'm not quite sure, but she's just recently started playing regularly with the team again.
Yeah.
And gets one and just doesn't get enough energy on that to move it out.
Hit that one a little too thickly as well. Very close. Probably a centimeter from making a perfect shot.
This is where Stephanie played her one, and I thought it was going to curl, but then it never.
So a little off the center here. She could almost hit it straight on the nose and drive it back without picking out her back one.
Control. Okay, controlled.
Opportunity for.
So you hear them talk control weight, control speed.
Yeah.
That'll be something just a little less than
Stephanie had one up here.
maybe 3/4 of her usual takeout weight, so a little softer so they can control a little bit better with sweeping. And the stone won't roll as far after it makes contact.
Eve Muirhead, last shot here in the third end. Looking for a score of 2.
I think it's all on how she holds her tongue there.
And working it. It's looking pretty good. And just the way she wanted it.
Good brushing to hold it straight. She gets her 2.
And that will take the score after 3 ends of play.
Nice.
Good.
For Muirhead, 4-2 lead.
Not give up a silly two.
Hammer changes over to Nielsen in the 4th.
Four then tight.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Let's
good.
get Lauren's first one. Really good. Half and 4 foot in. Same as the last end going down here because you got a good set.
Er det bedre, end at den er for kort?
Ikke mod hende her.
Nej. Jeg blev bare lige sådan...
Den skal bare ligge, helst ligge op foran.
Ja, okay.
Tror jeg.
Ja.
Det kommer lidt på situationen, når det er altså ikke sådan lige...
Ikke sådan meget kort, men det er heller ikke...
Nej, sådan.
Same weight, Lauren.
Yeah, nice and play through.
Looks pretty close.
Line's good. And it makes you break too well. Whoa.
Line's good.
Just
Hold it straight.
Anna.
Hold it straight.
Line's pretty good on it, I would say. Weight's close.
Hard, 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 hard.
Good, Lauren.
Lauren.
We're back here in Bern with the International Diamond Cup Curling Champions Tour coverage in association with World Curling TV, WCF production. I'm Armin Harder, and I'm here with national coach Switzerland Al Moore.
First stone by Team Muirhead. Near the top of the 4 foot in the center. I like to play this end in the house, keep it nice and clean. Nielsen, on the other hand, is going to try and use the corner guard and set up a 2-ender somewhere behind that, as she did in the second end.
Line's good.
Tail heavy.
Weight's good. Line good. Line on line.
Anna.
Line's perfect.
Three's really good. 3,
Anna.
3, 4.
Eve calling a tight guard to the one in the top of the 8 foot.
Curl.
If you can go on. No.
No,
No, you can't.
Hard, 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 hard.
Good job.
Virtually a perfect shot. Tight to the house.
Oh, this is...
Still can't be removed by Team Nielsen, but they may make a play on it. Just wiggle it around, or they may ignore it and just draw behind the corner guard.
Jeg tror, den kommer til at køle for meget. Jeg tror, den køler for meget.
Lenny really doesn't like that stone there, I can tell. I think she'd like to probably
Hvor langt er den?
play a duplicate shot here.
Er det 4?
She'll call to freeze the
Ej, det er fint. Nej, det er okay. Det er bare, om det er 4
Pretty
eller 5.
tight path to get through. That corner guard is,
I think she won't mind if she rubs off the top one and rolls in behind the corner.
yeah. You'd rather play it tight than wide, I would think. Huh?
Yep. Yeah, they're going to have to come fairly close to the yellow stone out in front to accomplish this shot.
Charlotte Clemson.
Gerne på linje.
Er lidt kort.
På linje.
4. 3.
Hele vejen på linjen.
Kort.
3.
Sounds like it's short. The brushers are working it hard.
It is short. Looks like they're rubbing. Yeah, they're all over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Line probably would have been okay, but they're really looking for back 4 foot speed. So Eve's not going to have anything to do with this corner guard, and she's going to have to have it peeled away by Vicky Adams.
Going to take the out turn with this, so she wants to peel it off to the right-hand side to avoid any jams on the front.
Clean. Clean. Yep. Okay, we're good.
Well done.
So Nielsen has the hammer here in this end.
She's
Plays all up the middle, so
she'd like to make the double, but she still also wants to save the shooter.
Denise Dupont.
Little bobble there coming out. Seemed to have righted the ship a little bit.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's looking pretty close. Oh, just jams it on the nose. Does move it off the center though a bit.
She kept the shooter in play as a corner guard, hoping to be able to use that later. Now Eve could play just to peel that center guard off,
I was edge of
keep it wide open, but
well, no, I played guard second. I was
Can
edge.
I get a little bit more? I'd just rather get past in line 2 than catch the guard. Pound on from what I played down here before.
Yep.
Vicky asking for a little more ice. Eve's going to play a come around. She's not going to play it clean, even with a 4-2 lead. She's going to try and keep the pressure on by putting more stones in play behind guards.
You gotta go. Never off.
So what do you think has caused her to change the call from a defensive to an offensive call here? Something she sees, or just the position of the rocks?
I think she likes that center guard, but
That's not going to help her though.
I think my team would have peeled off the center yellow guard and left one stone in the house, one wide corner guard.
Like, it just went. Like it was like.
Vicky didn't like that stone. She thinks it probably has a sharper edge on it. Seemed to curl and slow down more than she liked, so she's told Lauren that she's going to be the benefactor of a stone next end. See how Lauren can deal with it. A lot of teams actually give the stones that they find to be sharper to the second, and the second will use them for takeouts where that rough edge won't show up quite so much.
Yeah, it usually causes a problem on the draws.
So we do have stones in front of the house, things that can be used by Team Nielsen to generate 2 points.
Easy control, please. Control. Hard. Whoa, whoa.
Pressure's working it to hold it straight.
Ooh, just gets past that. Nice little roll too. Wow, a lot of room there.
I don't think they're trying to be that close, but they'll certainly, now that they got by, they're happy with it.
Yeah, great roll.
Well, the one that actually.
Looks like Lenny's playing the straight takeout. If she makes it, she'll sit married. The option would be just to play it softly and raise it in behind the side yellow corner and open up the one in the house and perhaps roll the shooter in as well. Sit second and third shots.
Oh, nice
Well
play.
executed.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she called that one. Instead of
Well, they've been struggling, both teams struggling a little bit with the speed of the ice. So smart skipping. When the speed isn't there, find something that'll work.
We know what the outturn's doing.
He's got an option of trying to play the run back and split them both off, or take the aggressive approach and go around. They're going to have a wee discussion about that.
the wee one. Well,
I think that's what they do in Scotland. They have a wee discussion.
with the whole team.
Yeah.
Well, 2 players would be a wee discussion. 4 players
It's
are
long. It's actually longer than what I thought.
something else. I think.
I guess that's a full conference call.
I think I like this way for the draw.
That's actually longer than what it looks from up there, isn't it?
Yeah, like you pass that, you pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they've decided they're going to draw. They're just deciding which way they're going to go.
I like this way.
They could come from either side.
You know this.
Yeah.
Eve's really gone aggressive here in this end.
Yep.
You were 40 here.
Yeah, I did add, but
So they've decided on
You know, because Anna's probably be similar.
Anna's in-turn,
Yeah.
left-hander's in-turn to come around from that side. I think either side works, but I guess they perhaps know the ice better in the spot.
yeah.
And it's always a smart skipping Just try and pick the spots you know.
Anna Sloan, left-hander. She's gonna curl.
Well by the guard, which does finish though.
Very nicely done.
And I think that got mostly undercover.
That really curled a lot at the end. It's
That's okay.
I don't know if they can get to that with, looks like it's just a corner sticking out.
I think it's there with the hack weight.
They might be able to get there with backline weight. They don't have to move it right out of the house. They just have to move it back into the back 12 foot. In fact, if they move it just back into the 8 foot and stay on top of it and sit one right now, put the pressure back on Team Muirhead.
I think it would be easier shot to play at it direct than the one she's looking at here with 2 angle raises or something complicated.
Well, she might be able to raise that yellow in onto her own yellow one and sit second and third and open up the one in that. I think that's what they're talking about is playing the yellow one and splitting the yellow one at the top of the 12 foot in and then rolling the yellow one that's short over to the left side.
A little too complicated.
It's a fairly complicated shot. Certainly much more precise than the straight come around tap back.
Those 2 yellow rocks are her own. They're not hurting her up there. Utilize them a little later.
I think they decided on hack weight. They're going to try and push that yellow one in on the other yellow one and sit second, third shot and hope they'll get an opportunity perhaps with the center line side to get at that stone delivered by Anna Sloan.
Stephanie Risdall. This looks like it's coming on the inside of that rock. Now she's got that one covered.
Yeah, now the guards in front of that redstone are staggered now. It's going to be very difficult to get out using any of those. They were trying to hit that Yellowstone on the other side.
So Muirhead's been playing aggressive here this end. Now she definitely has an opportunity to steal.
And she'll be thinking of stealing 1 or 2 right now. One looks pretty solid.
I don't even mind there.
It's finishing nicely, so you can easily get around those rocks that are on top of the 12 foot.
One of the things they have to be aware of, if they do throw a guard short of the house, they might force Lenny Nielsen into playing that Yellowstone far out on the right side there, left as we look at it now, angle it into the one, and then there would be 2 Yellowstones buried. So I think it's important that Eve sits second shot here.
No, I know. You haven't really played much on this side, so I think it'll still curl quite top 8 foot's good. Yeah, top 8's perfect.
Yeah. Top 8 binds up for it.
This side, I think.
So she has to get behind the guard a little bit so as not to set up a double takeout.
Be straighter than there.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think
We'll call it early just because it's a fresher path. So if we think it's heavy straight off, we can buckle it early.
So they seem to be worried about, they haven't played that many rocks down this side and not...
They're guessing a little bit as to how much it's going to curl,
I will be.
and perhaps also a little bit on the speed.
Okay. Take your time.
Eve Muirhead.
Line's good. Line's really good, yes. We are.
Easy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ricky.
Okay, we're set.
Ricky, stay close.
We're good.
Oh, leave it high then. Right there.
Line's good.
Yes, we have to go together.
Go.
We're good.
Okay.
Hard, Vicky, Anna. I mean, Vicky,
Go. Okay, good.
Didn't get buried, so they did set up a double.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, nice weight. Good.
That was a concern with that shot. Really wanted to get second shot. It wouldn't have been a bad, and I think Anna mentioned it earlier, they could have just drawn the side wide open in the 8-foot on the tee line. But they have left a double, and if they make this double, even if the shooter rolls out, they'll have theirs half under cover. I think they can save the shooter and make this double. They'll be hitting it on the broom side.
And Nielsen looking for 2 points here in this end to tie it back up again.
Both these skips are very deliberate in the hack at their setups, which is a great thing.
Working that right away. It might have been a little tight. Yeah, just gets it on the nose. Now there's that angle's not there on that red one, is it?
Eve has to be careful here. There are a couple of ways that they can get the red stone out of the house with raising one of the yellow stones in the front or on the left side. So it's really important that Eve gets second shot in here and does not set up a double. So she'd like to get either part way around or at least just to the tee line or beyond the tee line.
I'll guard the yellow.
So she would have went to school on with her first rock.
Yep, they've got almost the same ice as they had on the first one.
A little more information.
White's better than
White, my side's fine because it's not too bad.
Or even if she plants this on the tee line, she's not giving up more than.
Yeah. I think she'd like to be around a little bit round behind, but tee line was the weight they're looking for, I believe.
Let it work, Becky. We need curl.
Go back. Go back.
Good. So we need curl. We're
Yeah,
too
go,
big.
Becky.
We're
Becky,
too
run it, love.
hard, Becky.
Well, this is coming up shorter.
I think they're just playing a guard here.
Okay.
Good Eve. Good Eve.
A potential 3 count if Nielsen can angle raise that Yellowstone on the side, and certainly be worth a shot, I think, even if she can make contact with the red stone and it rolls out, that they get 2. I think that's just as hard as the draw she's trying to play to the edge of the button.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're even looking at that angle raise.
No.
I think the angle raise is no harder than the shot she's playing now. The shot she's playing now is for 1 point. The angle raise is for 3. The other option is to play the guard that Eve Muirhead just played, straight back onto the Yellowstone for 2 points.
Seems her front end has seen something else. They're now going to come back down and discuss it again.
I think Denise has pointed out that perhaps one of the raises is no more difficult than the draw to the edge of the button.
Well, you raise that red one back and you've got almost 2 options there. That you might come off either one of those yellows and
Exactly.
drive it back.
I'd be more tempted to play the outside yellow one.
I agree.
There's a bigger reward, and it's no more difficult. It's only a single shot that you're hitting back, not a double raise. I think the angle raise is equally difficult to any shot they're looking at, and I don't even think they're considering it at all.
Do they even see it?
I haven't seen anybody even look over there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And sometimes you get so focused on certain situations, you don't see the forest for the trees. Or
Yeah, well, they're up to their armpits in alligators when they thought all they were going to do is drain the swamp.
Draining the swamp. I've heard that somewhere before.
So they are going to play the double raise. The guard just thrown by Eve Muirhead. They're going to raise that red stone back onto one of the yellow stones and try and raise the yellow stone back onto the red stone in the 4-foot to score a potential 2 points. Raising 2 stones is always difficult. And there's a fair space between. The further apart they are, the more difficult it is. It's almost a nose hit on the red one at the front.
So big shot here. Lena Nielsen, last rock here in the 4th, trying to score 2 points. That's not a lot of weight, I don't think, Al.
No, she's playing it fairly quietly. Looks like it's over curled. They're going to try a plan B. Try a plan B.
And it's looking very close. Oh, she could have made 3 that way too, but she missed it. And it's a steal of 1 for Muirhead. And that will put Muirhead in a pretty well commanding lead. 5-2 up. Oh, that needed to curl just a hair more and she would have had 3.
I don't think that's what they were playing.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe. So that's a score of 5-2 now for Muirhead after 4 ends of play. We're at the halfway point here in Bern.
Ja, nu skal der genereres nogle point. Ja. Så det kræver så lidt, at vi kommer derind og får presset hende. Ja. Vi skal lige skrue lidt på de der parametre der her. Ja. Holde shooterne og lige få sat noget. Så ja. Så langt er vi altså ikke fra. Så vi er inde med at holde fast i de gode teknikker. Vi havde altså et shot her.
Maria's been moving.
Okay, well, we're up 3 now, so I want to be playing it positive anyway.
Play positive because it is the 5th end.
Tell all there, Vicky.
Easy.
We're into the second half of Curling Champions Tour coverage here. We're into the B group here. B group's semi-final.
Okay.
Winner of this moves on
Train your eye.
God, that held straight.
to a final.
Straight as anything.
good.
We never Googled straight as a die. So I was just thinking, oh, that just runs straight as a die. And we never Googled. Maybe I don't
That's not correct. It's a semi. It's
I think this is a quarter B quarterfinal.
Quarter B, yeah, because the winner of this will go
The winner of this plays the winner of
Fleming Moseva.
Fleming Moisieva, and Moisieva is currently leading that. Just scored a 2-ender in the 5th end to take a 5-2 lead over Team Fleming from Scotland. So now with a 3-point lead, I believe Eve will probably be bringing the second stone also into the house.
Muirhead team is certainly one of the strongest teams at defending a lead. Traditionally very difficult for teams to come back against her when she's up a few points,
Not normally a very strong hitting team.
which you would expect for a Scottish team.
Whoa.
Lenny's going to ignore those and put another corner guard up.
Good. I think that line.
I'm not sure this strategy works very frequently. Double corner guards. To get 2 points, you need to have some opposition stones behind the tee line and 1 corner guard. And seeing as there's already 2 opposition stones in the house, I think for me, I would be looking at a tap back on those ones at the top of the 8-foot, trying to push them into the back of the 8-foot. Eve's going to go peel one of the guards. She's got an angle where she could possibly peel both of them off. But from my experience, I've seen more success getting the 3-ender by using the 1 corner guard and the stones in the house rather than the 2nd corner guard.
I always find it quite amusing, teams putting up corner guards and then not using them at the end, freezing into the middle or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Panic.
So, Denise Dupont I think she's trying to go around this corner guard, doing exactly the opposite of what I just said. So very nice to see. We're actually going to try and make use of this corner guard. Needs to be there though. Looks like it's coming up short.
I haven't seen a lot of teams actually employ the tap back. When I tried to get teams to do that, they seem to find that it works quite well. But yet in tournaments, continually keep seeing this corner guards and hit and rolls.
Kan man trykke det der en smule? Tryk det ned bag i. Kan man stå på den første og trykke det ned? Ja.
Well, they're indicating that tap back you were just talking about.
I think Rizdal called that one from the other end.
Like Rizdal has got quite a bit of input here.
It might have been Denise actually called it, and let Rizdal be the spokesperson. Denise, of course, has a lot of experience herself, playing at many championships with her sister.
Rizdal just lost her microphone there. Nice tap back.
Well done. Now you see the two Scottish stones behind the tee line. Certainly very usable for Team Nielsen to freeze on now.
Control. Okay. Yep. Control. Yep. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Take the lead.
Okay.
I think it's just getting straighter.
Nielsen could actually freeze this in a spot where it'll be impossible to remove. She can freeze about half a stone toward the center line on this stone. They won't be able to take it out because it will roll over onto the other red stone. Not bad over curl. They'd like that much on the other side of that stone. Eve can hit this on the nose and spill both the yellow and the red stone behind it. She doesn't want to have a little bit of a wall back there that Nielsen can use.
You would have drawn behind that guard maybe with that rock instead of trying this freeze?
No, I like the call of the freeze. They just over curled it. They had to be aware that they wanted to be on the other side of that stone.
How about now going behind the guard?
Now behind the corner guard's an option. You can either play the freeze or behind the corner guard.
I think
Corner
you could put
guard's,
the guard there.
corner guard's probably freeze is such a difficult shot. There's a little bit more room for error with the come around. It doesn't have to be exactly the right line. It doesn't have to be exactly the right distance, which is, of course, the freeze does. As long as I can get this mostly behind the guard and somewhere near the tee line, in front of the tee line, make it difficult to remove. Curling hard at the end. I think that's pretty well executed. I think 3/4 under cover.
That's it.
You've got an edge.
It does.
Put it into open, yeah. Do you know what, if we catch
I think it's there.
I do think it's there as well.
Let's throw hatch. Yeah.
We just need to make sure if we
I think
We can't
might,
miss it
do we need to play
altogether.
Bern?
No, but you can't see enough. You've only got an edge of it. I think hat.
Okay, hat. There's a
Yeah.
few options. If we nick the guard and roll in, we're good.
Yeah.
If we just catch it and put it into open, it's also not
Yeah.
bad.
Okay.
It's curling here, so
I know, I think
So she's trying to
Definitely
pick
there.
this out.
I think she's mentioned a couple of shots. She's like to remove it with hack weight, but if she ticks the guard with hack weight, she'd probably keep her shooter in the house's second shot.
Eve Muirhead here with her first rock in this
Lane's down.
Yeah, it's good.
their fifth end.
Line's good.
Lane's down.
Oh, Vicky,
The
whoa,
Danes
whoa, whoa.
have the hammer.
Lauren trying to make it curl.
Hard
So it needs to curl quite a bit to get it. Okay, she's there. Does she have enough weight to move it out though?
Great job.
Good Eve, nice shot.
Good.
Just enough.
Well called.
Yes.
Well
No,
set.
didn't quite throw hack weight, and that's probably what
Good.
saved her.
Nice
Good
shot.
job.
Good communication down the ice. It's essential for making curling shots to have that great communication. Brushers will let the person in the house know exactly what the speed is. Person in the house will let the brushers know exactly what the line is, and between all that communication, successful shot. I'm not sure whether Lenny's trying to make the double here or the hit and roll. She could actually make perhaps both with big weight, but I doubt she's throwing big weight.
Go!
Yep.
Wow!
Whoa. Head. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Make it.
Made the double, but I believe the shooters stayed wide open. So we will just hit that on the nose. She wouldn't actually mind rolling behind the guard and force Nielsen to take a point.
It's really good.
I think Nielsen will be looking for a blank end here and trying to get a 2 back in the sixth end. Eve will be happy to make this one just go away.
Take your time.
Very focused on the broom.
Study of concentration right there.
And that's needs to curl a bit too. She hits it too thin, she's going to jam it, but she gets it full enough.
That's time.
I don't think she was really looking for the roll. I think she just wanted to make it go away. And
With the
just
5-2 lead,
that's all, yeah.
that's all you need to do, right?
yeah, she doesn't mind blanking. That's one less end that Nielsen can score 2. She'd be happy if they blank the next 3 ends. So they're trying to blank. They're throwing peel weight, clearing weight, which is quite a bit faster than their normal takeout speed. They want the shooter to roll off the one in the house and out of play. And they'll retain last stone advantage for the sixth end, and hopefully they can get 2. Chosen the other turn.
Strock is underway here in the 5th end. Looks like she might. She'll roll out. Oh, just get past that long guard. Oh,
Whoops.
jams on her own.
Didn't see that coming.
Just hit it too thin.
She hit it too thin. She wanted to hit a little bit fatter than that, roll over the top of that one to blank the end, but ended up rolling onto that stone that was out of play, stayed, and will end up scoring 1 point. So after 5 ends of play, it's Muirhead 5, Nielsen 3. Muirhead will have last stone in the 6th end.
Men vi er tæt på garden deroppe også.
Because we were like, that's maximum, well, massive ice. That's okay.
I say get the tires.
Your hair's like a little Shetland ponies.
I feel like
It's very nice.
like you know how they.
Do you know what your
I
hair?
just need
It's
to
like
eat
Carmen Schaefer's
Yeah.
hair.
I think that's what I said. Chips.
I think it looks really nice.
It is nice.
So
I think it would be nicer if it was like up higher. Like, but
You don't wear your hair up high like that very often, do you?
if I'm like not like if I'm got it up and I'm maybe going out for tears, I'm gonna put it up high and like
I do
try
that.
and
That's
puff
what I
it.
do. Puff it up a bit.
Yeah.
But when you're curling, it just goes like in your.
It's that high when you're curling, you put it all in a bun.
Yeah, because it goes like
Det er
that.
langt gart, hvis det var langt væk.
Det tænker jeg ikke.
Er det træ?
Ja.
Okay.
Eller
Så
du
det er
ved,
okay.
en meter fra, ikke?
Yeah, we're now into the 6th end after hitting and rolling onto her own, taking the 1.
Doggy.
These games are, of course, 8 ends in length.
Ringlinje stuff.
Most of the tournaments around the world now are played in 8 end. Only championship play at World Championships, international events are played at 10 ends.
And that's a discussion that doesn't seem to go away either.
No, that discussion seems to be come up every year at
annual discussion.
World Championship, and of course, it's a little bit about television. That packaging an 8-end game, you can do in probably about 2.5 hours.
I don't know. We'll watch 5 hours of tennis or 3 days of cricket too.
3 days of cricket. But a 10-end curling game, usually the package is 3 hours for a 10-end curling game, allowing for an extra end.
We do have a little bit of tactical back and forth, I believe, in 10 ends, which doesn't happen in a. You keep it close in a 8-end game, and then around 3rd, 4th, 5th end, big score, put it away for you.
Yeah, the 10-end game is a little more cat and mouse, I guess, over the course of a game.
Purists certainly like the 10 ends.
Well, I'm a purist, and when I actually started curling, up until 1974,
You didn't have any
we played
restrictions on it.
12 ends.
Oh,
Our championship play was 12 ends up till 1974. I think it was 1975 and after where it went to 10 ends, and everybody was, all the 12-end purists at that point were aghast that the game was shortened from 12 ends to 10 ends. And that was back in a period where people were sweeping with corn brooms and had blisters on their hands.
And you had 20 kilos more on your shoulders. No, you were skipping.
I was skipping. I never had those blisters. I just used to sympathize a lot with my front end,
No, you didn't.
whose hands looked like raw meat.
Just yell at them. Yeah, the game has obviously changed over the last 40 years.
It's changed a lot. We've got, I believe, over 50 countries now are members of the World Curling Federation.
Just go
I
here.
think we're closer to 60, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, go, baby,
so.
go, baby. Yeah, go. Come on, get in. Go. Yeah, go.
Lene has decided that she wants to steal this end. She knows that she's running out of time. She does not have last stone, and she believes that if she just tries to play a force, giving Eve a point is too much. So she's ignored the stones in the house and played 2 center guards. And interestingly enough, Eve has chosen to defend against that by drawing behind them. She could have played a soft shot to move them off the center line, but chose to draw 2 in behind. Oh, big mistake there. They hit their own guard and moved it. They've left only 1 guard left now that Eve will quickly remove. And I don't think Lenny's too happy with that.
Yeah, it's not going to do too much at this speed.
Vicky Adams also starting from a standing position.
Clean.
And she can throw some weight on that.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake to tick that guard. Had to get by that. Now Lenny's not sure what to do. She's got 2 wide shots. She knows she needs to cover up the center to steal a point.
Yeah, that's good.
It's going to be very difficult now for Team Nielsen to set up a steal situation.
Throw up another center guard, maybe?
She knows also that Team Muirhead are excellent takeout specialists, and she's just saying, well, is it a waste? Should I come in the house now?
Or tap that back and then put up a center guard with the next one.
Yeah, something like that.
I think she may have to tap this back a bit.
I think she's called a guard for the time being. This is the last stone of the first half of this end.
I see the problem with this guard, though, is, well, if she does put up the guard, that she still has to deal with that red rock that's sitting at the front, right?
Yeah, they're not in a very good position now. It's all favor Muirhead right now.
This will be about halfway, maybe a little longer. Good position.
And Eve will just peel that one off.
Sure.
And I think on the next one you'll probably see with Third's first stone, they'll make a play on the stone at the top of the 4-foot and tap it back. Give them something to freeze on later. You notice all the players have exactly the same color of brush pads. And that was mandated by the World Curling Federation, that the pads have to be approved and they all have to come from the same batch of material. And so, although there are a few different manufacturers of the broom, they all have to get the pad material from the same place. And they're all stamped with numbers on them.
Not much there anymore.
Not really checked at this tournament, I don't believe, but certainly at World Curling Federation Championships, the umpires will check each piece of equipment
They're checked
before
here
each
too,
game.
randomly. Umpires, the responsible umpire will do random checks. Obviously, won't be checked as intensive as at the World Championships. Personnel being
You see, Rizdal has a hairbrush. They're allowed to throw with a hairbrush. You can throw with many different kinds of implements. You'll see some people throw with some kind of stabilizing device, or you can throw with a brush, but you're certainly not allowed to brush with it.
I guess for those that are not familiar too much with curling, and the brush situation is kind of like the tire situation in the Formula One, where they
Yep, they all have the same tires when they
same tires.
So we haven't restricted manufacturers. There are a number of different manufacturers, but they do all have to get the material, and the pad thickness has to be within the prescribed thickness as well.
So what do you think is going to be the next controversy?
I hope there isn't one for a few years. I think last year
It was horrible.
was a tough year for probably mostly for umpires.
Very emotional.
You know, a lot of players had there was a lot of emotion on the ice when players, although everybody was brushing according to the rules then in place and equipment was then in place, some felt that it was some form of cheating to manipulate the stones as much as they were being manipulated. So I think curling needs a few years to calm itself down, and I think you got to give the powers that be full credit for stepping in and reaching a solution as quickly as they did.
Yep. Oh, nicely removed. Almost picked off that red one in the back too.
Throwing some weight.
Nice.
Got confidence up.
That's good.
Good.
So it's looking like Moseva will be facing Muirhead if the
she had a-
scoreboard doesn't change in either of the games.
Yeah, they're playing the seventh end over there now. Moiseev stole one in the sixth to take a 6-2 lead over Fleming. And as we just glance over there in the seventh end, Fleming really doesn't have anything going.
Christensen did short work on Schupp, although Schupp did score a 3, but that was about it. She loses 8-3 after 6 ends of play.
And that'll bad afternoon, evening for Schupp. Lost a couple of games in a row and is now going to find herself in Long Road in C tomorrow. They'll be on the ice all day long if they hope to get into the prize money.
The other games are all fairly close. If you want to see the results or scores going on, live scores,
Good, Anna.
curlingchampionstour.org. Go to the scoreboard.
Nice. I might need to up my feeling of Anna's weight's getting close to mine.
Holy crap.
Next weekend we'll be
Anna, I like
coming to you from Hamburg with the
That's what seconds are meant to get.
German Masters. Men's will be playing. Good teams there. I understand Botcher's coming over from Canada. And Chinese men's team will be there. National team.
I'll be heading myself to Glasgow for the Glen Hill Ladies, which is next weekend as well, which we have we have 5 of our 6 national teams will be competing there, so give me a good chance to watch them all in their final preparation before the Swiss Championships.
Yeah. Champions Tour in Glasgow, the Glen Hill. Also a very good event. Unfortunately, we won't be having any coverage from there, but again, results are available on championstour.org, and remember to join our Facebook page,
Does that not make the double
Curling
easier?
Champions Tour on Facebook.
Control.
Give us a like.
Control or normal or? I think control. Yeah.
Yep.
But going back to the beginning of this end,
I think it'll come
Second's first shot, Denise DuPont, when she picked her own center guard off, really killed the chances for Nielsen to have any kind of chance to steal. That was just a huge mistake and a huge error. And since that time, they really haven't got anything going. And Aves had teams had easy shots, wide open takeouts, never having to negotiate a guard. And now Nielsen really doesn't have anything but the freeze.
Good job. Good job. Yeah.
So this is decision time. You could try and play the double and limit damage to 1, which may be too many. That would give Muirhead a 3-point lead with 2 ends to play. Or you can go hard for the steal and try and freeze the stone just behind the tee line, which I think is the call at this point.
She's looking for the double here, I think.
Looking for the double. But even making the double, it's going to be a wide open shot for Muirhead.
Doesn't get you back in the game.
The angle of these stones isn't such that a hit and roll is easy. You could do it with maybe board weight. A little less than half a stone with board weight roll over there, but with full takeout weight, hit and roll is virtually impossible. It would have to be the double. And she is throwing full takeout weight.
Nielsen, last rock here in the 6th end, hoping for a bit of a small miracle. Makes the double.
Really
Excellent
nice shot. Made a double.
And like you said, it's wide open.
Wide open evil.
Easy blank.
She can blank or stick. I don't. Either one, I think, is acceptable to Eve.
Yeah.
Taking a 3-point lead to the 7th end or 2-point lead with last stone is
Almost preferable to have a 3-point lead.
almost preferable with a 3-point lead, of course. The other team would only get 1 guard that you can't remove.
That's right. So, did you see the indication with Muirhead? Wants a blank or stick?
Well, I know she's got a fairly tight broom. I'm thinking it's a stick for 1.
Last rock here in the 6th.
Didn't look like she's throwing peel weight. That looks like more like her normal weight.
which is faster than anything I could throw.
Oh, looking for the blank and got it.
rolled out.
So she'll take her 2-point lead into the next end.
So Muirhead maintains the hammer going into the 7th with a fairly comfortable 2-point lead. Score of 5-3.
Det var ikke en del af gameplanen.
Det tænker jeg også glad for. Men det er småken. Ja. Altså, det første, jeg ringer. Så tror jeg, den ligger godt. Så du kommer rundt begge op. Ja.
Linjen er lige på den tejte side.
2.
Ja.
3,
2.
2.
Linjen er god. Ja.
2.
Ja. Ja, 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 ja.
Til.
Det er godt klart.
Godt spillet.
So we're back here in the 7th end. Curling Champions Tour coverage in association with the World Curling Federation and World Curling TV.
A little different strategy this time by Team Muirhead. Nielsen's going to be throwing up a couple of guards trying to set up a steal.
It's fine, but we can't touch it.
But instead of going behind the guards or trying to play a soft peeling and move it out of the way, Eves has chosen to draw open side. And they'll probably do that again. Nielsen, the problem with their first guard is they were looking for one either really close to the house or just over the hog line. And they kind of got it in no man's land there in the middle. So it's difficult to place another guard which won't set up a double peel. I think that's what she's saying, if my Danish serves me correctly.
You were bang on there. No. I just saw a good shot of the 8 sheets right across the scoreboards, across the back. Really pretty curling club. Nice high ceiling. Great view from up here.
Yeah, this is probably one of the premier facilities in the world as far as set up for viewing. Beautiful restaurant downstairs, lots of meeting rooms. There's a nice lounge up here for the curlers just behind the glass where they have all their meals. And down in the basement, ample locker rooms, complete with showers and everything you need.
Yeah, if you take the guard, that's fine.
This is one of 2 8-sheet curling clubs in Switzerland, the biggest ones in Switzerland. About 44 curling clubs in total.
And a lot of beautiful ones. Swiss Championships this year will be held in beautiful Flims.
Yeah, wait up.
Well, this is looking a little wide here. Anna might have flashed this.
Yeah, it's not bad.
They were trying a soft peel.
Okay.
Oh, she did
Actually-
get a piece of it.
Made a move of the one in the house and moved it away from the center area.
Yeah, that came a lot at the end. It looked like she'd missed it completely.
So not a complete miss. And now you'll start to see the Team Muirhead go into their peel game, and Team Nielsen, I think they're going to play another guard here, if I'm not mistaken. Ice doesn't look like enough to come around that guard, so I think they're playing another guard.
Denise Dupont, curling family, Denmark.
3, 2, op. 3. Jo. Er I 2 eller 3, Lotte? Det er lidt vigtigt. 3, 2. Så det er op. Hele vejen.
My mistake. Was enough ice, I guess, for the come around.
But it's coming up short.
Huh?
She needed to be in a 4-foot, I think, with that, no?
Well, I think they were looking for it just short.
Yeah, okay.
First thought was in turn. I think you can make it on that.
There's a double opportunity here.
Half.
Yeah. Like to move both those guards out and hit the second one across the top so that the shooter will also roll out of play.
Vicky Adams certainly capable of making these kinds of shots.
Hard! You gotta go, Anna, you gotta go! Whoa, whoa,
It's going to hit it too full.
Oh, she's left both guards there. Not what she was looking for.
Didn't work out very well at all. She won't be happy with that. A pretty good setup right now for Lena, but she does need to steal two if she wants to. Well, she's got two ends to go, actually.
Stealing one would give her, she'd have to basically go steal, steal, steal.
Yeah, and
Statistics tell us that the very elite teams can steal about somewhere between 25 and 30% of the time. So if you have to do that 3 times in a row, the chances of doing it 3 times in a row is probably only about 10%. Or even less, maybe even 3%. It's a little bit deep, not bad though. He was going to make a decision here. I think she might try the double and leave those guards there.
Get the double and back. Okay. These two are the ones that are causing her grief just now.
Yeah, we're 2 up.
Yep. Well, they have to identify the most dangerous stones on the ice, and those are the 2 guards in front.
Do you like this?
And I think you heard one of the players say those are the 2 that are causing us grief right now.
These are the ones that are causing us trouble. Yeah, I know that, but I need to get in, that's the thing.
You need to get what? You need to get in.
You're always going to be leaving your shooter. If we get the double. Not necessarily if I come across the face. Okay.
So they've convinced Eve that the right shot is to try and double peel those guards. I might even pick off one in the back in the house on the way through. We throw in an out turn.
Yep. Whoa. Close. Whoa. No. Anna. Other way.
Anna.
Go on.
looked pretty good. Gets the guards. Does leave the center guard again, though.
She was trying to hit that on the other side.
Yeah. She
And,
wanted to overcurl on that.
She wanted to overcurl that and hit it across the top of that one and send the other yellow one back into the pile there and hopefully get that. But she has left a center guard that is really covering the button. I think you'll see Lenny trying to strategically place a guard here that's going to make it difficult for the double peel and also guard her stones in the house. So she's going to try and basically put one guarding that hole between the two yellow ones close to the house. So Muirhead is in a little bit of trouble here. A little bit of a bright light here for Team Nielsen. Line looks pretty good. I think that's almost exactly where she called for it. So Eve will be trying to hit her own red guard there across the top of the yellow stone. The yellow guard placed by Team Nielsen, and hope that the yellow one also goes back into the house and perhaps kills one of the other yellow stones. Anna Sloan.
Oh, doubles them out.
A little bit lucky there. They weren't really trying that. Probably Lenny Nielsen shaking her head a bit. They were trying to actually hit it onto the other yellow guard, but just missed it and ended up doubling the two in the house.
Just to add insult to injury.
Sometimes when it's your day, it's your day.
He still has guards there. You can't look at that too bad.
That's when the other
Still a
team
chance
looks at
to-
you and you go, yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, right.
But as you say, yes, there's still that center guard there.
And then shake that off and refocus and utilize what's out there. If this has the legs, it's looking pretty good.
Got to get it by the guard. And they do.
Oh, nice shot. Good draw. Almost coming up the other side.
Yeah, it's partly open the other way, but not much. Maybe a quarter stone.
So we'll be back on again tomorrow at 11 with draw number 9.
Check the guard, that's fine.
Don't know exactly which game we're showing yet, but go to our YouTube channel, Curling Champions Tour. And at some point we will be putting that who's playing who. Of course, being a triple knockout, we don't know who's that far ahead of time who's playing.
We don't know who's falling into which slot.
Yeah. And have a check out the Dutch Masters mixed doubles is going on too, and there's streaming going on from there too, so have a look into that. Really good world champions and lots of good teams there.
Nice shot by Anna Sloan. The scoring area is getting pretty small. I think you're going to try and get around there, and there's still space on the button there to
Cold draw.
get one in there. If they can get one on the button, it's going to be hard to get out because they won't be able to throw that same shot that Anna just threw because their own stone will be in the way.
Covered, yeah. Oh, she's got more room there than I thought from down here. Just needs full forefoot.
We're at the home end of sheet 8 behind the glass, so our angles aren't quite the same.
Well, your angle's different too from my angle. You have to be sitting on my lap to see the.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And you're shorter.
The only guy's lap I sit on is Santa Claus. He still hasn't brought me that Ferrari that I've asked for, though.
Really?
Yeah, trying for 40 years. I guess it just won't fit down the chimney. I told him that we could always just park it in the driveway.
All those potholes you have in Canada, the Ferrari would last about 5 minutes.
This line is perfect. Brushers are working really, really hard.
No, it doesn't. Oh, unfortunately.
Not bad. It's a usable stone. It's partly behind the guard. I think Eve might just
run
peel
that guard, peel that guard. Huh?
Peel the red one off, and I think
But it's not easy for us to move it.
if she doesn't peel the guard, it'll certainly give Nielsen an opportunity. She'll be able to tap that up into the button area.
Well, she'll probably be doing that anyways, even if the peel's the guard, eh?
That's right, but at least it'll be open.
Yeah.
And she'll have a number of ways to get at it, I think.
Sure. She's playing the tap here, but she's also got the hit and flop on the red. So if we were to come in,
She's looking at that red that's sitting in the 8-foot on the left-hand side as a hit and roll possibility.
Yeah, that's pretty tight. There's a yellow guard in front. That's
she's also
would make it very difficult to get to the inside of that red stone.
If you guard this, she's got half of this. What if I draw this way? You go here, and even if you block this, she needs to make that tap. But even if I roll off that to here as well, not bad.
Only thing is, you don't want to give her a bigger target. Sitting out is giving her more. Because
From this angle, that hit and roll doesn't look that hurt.
I think you just peel the guard. No matter what happens, if you peel the guard,
I don't think like
Eve's going to have an open shot. It might be a double, but it'll be open.
Or even she takes that hit and roll off the red one on the right. It's a straight back raise if that guard's gone.
I think down around that looks like.
So what are we looking at?
I think she's
Is she guarding?
guarding the hole, I believe. She might be coming right into the top of the 8-foot.
from this end.
Yeah, that hit and roll on that outside red one's pretty tight. You'd have to really just paper past the yellow guard. I think Eve's going to try and draw through the hole.
Yeah.
There's the two coaches.
Ulrich Schmidt on the right and Glenn Howard on the left.
Talking tactics, I'm sure.
Glenn Howard himself numerous world titles. The last one was in Basel in 2012.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We're only 3. Okay, go then. Line 2. Hi. Whoa, where? 5. Line's really good. Whoa.
Okay, we're
5.
5.
Yeah.
So they're looking to get this stone top of the 8-foot through the hole.
Hard. Whoa, whoa. Okay.
Okay.
It's a good
Might have
spot.
taken that raise away.
I think the raise is still there. They can just
The tap's not easy.
tap it.
Altså lige et kostehoved på den her led. Mindre.
Lenny's looking at the hit and roll, but I really don't know if it's there.
How
It would have
about
to
the raise on her yellow one up top?
be, yeah, raise on the yellow double. She'd have to make a double on it. Because if she was to hit the,
Well, there, that hit and flop is off there. If she comes on off the
Yep.
red one on the right-hand side,
Yep.
and then the 8-foot, she'll flip, roll in.
basically hit that yellow stone right on the nose.
Yep.
Bare lige på siden og stik run.
And that's what she's calling.
Yep. The angle raise on the Yellowstone she threw first is still there, but again, she'd have to be tight to the red stone at the top of the 12-foot to make it, but it does curl there,
She doubles these out, she might have an opportunity to steal 2 even.
possibly. Almost looking for a nose hit on the Yellowstone. Wants to hit the one in the 8-foot first so that the Yellowstone will go back toward the center.
Lena Nielsen looking for a big shot here.
Go!
And back klar. Yep.
Does she have it?
Close.
Looking close. Oh, she is shot, but it's
shot and
exposed.
it's open half stone,
Yes.
maybe a bit more open.
Just not getting the breaks there. Nicely played.
Yeah, that was probably just a few millimeters away from perfection.
Yep. So
Hit it just a hair earlier, and that red stone that's still in the 4-foot would be out of the 8-foot, and she'd be sitting 2 points,
and certainly guarded a lot better than she is
and
now.
perhaps guard a little better. So you see, she can see a little bit more than half. Probably playing barrier weight or board weight, a little softer takeout weight, and try and save the shooter for 2, and that would pretty well put the game out of reach.
Eve Muirhead,
Easy hand.
last rock here in the 7th.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Please. Whoa, Anna. Please down. Whoa.
Whoa.
Vicky.
Right back.
It's looking pretty good.
Line's good.
Hard, Vicky.
Go back.
Seem to be pleased with it.
Hard.
Does it have enough weight to push it out?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Nice weight, great communication, 2 points, and they think that would be enough.
Yeah, nice shot, Eve.
Nice.
So 2 points there in the 7th. Now a commanding 7-3 lead for Muirhead.
In fact, that's
And
all.
the gloves are coming off. Pretty interesting game, Al.
Yeah, I think some mistakes by Nielsen. Didn't quite pick up the speed of the ice early. And the amount of curl, probably didn't read the ice as well as Eve did.
Didn't get any breaks either, I think.
And a couple of lucky shots, especially in that end by Anna. They had the end go pretty well, and the double peel attempt ended up being double the 2 stones that Nielsen had in the house.
So final score of 73 for Eve Muirhead. And that will finish our coverage for tonight here from Bern. Hopefully we'll have you look in tomorrow. We got 11 o'clock, 3 games tomorrow, and we'll start 11 o'clock Central European time. We hope you look in, check our YouTube site to find game times and opponents. We wish you a good evening. Thank you very much, Al.
Okay, thank you, ice maker. When you leave, drive safely.